girls, and welcome back to your favorite show, Money Maketh Man with Oreg Binije, aka OG. Today with me, I have a guest, and we'll be talking about the service industry, pricing of the service industry, and how we think AI is going to be affecting the service industry in 5 to 10 years. So don't go anywhere because this is about to be a very good episode. Welcome back, everyone. Before we get into the episode, I'd like to give you a quick bio on my guest, EJ. The bio is really heavy, so I have to read it off my phone, you guys. Okay, let's get to see it. Enakirerhi Ejovwoke is an electrical electronics engineer, skilled prompt engineer from Vanderbilt University in the United States, with an MBA from the Daniels College of Business at the University of Denver and an alumni of the Lagos Business School. He has founded several innovative startups spanning multiple industries globally. Today, his passion about harnessing agentic AI and prompt engineering to unlock transformative business solutions and drive global innovation. So you can tell that this is about to be a good one, a heavy one. So stay tuned and welcome, EJ. Welcome to my show.
Thank you, Aura. It's great to be here.
So let's get into it. Before we get into the AI impact on the service industry, let's talk about what the service industry is. So the service industry, in the business world, you have goods and services. Goods are products. Products are typically tangible items which are handheld. You can hold them, your perfume, your phones, your laptops, your cream, all tangible products. Those are goods. Services, on the other hand, are intangible. You can't really hold the physical product, but you definitely feel or receive the product. So you talk about writing, producing, designing, styling, coding. Some of these examples of service, even when you go to the spa, the massage you get, when you get your hair done, that's a service. So yeah, the service industry is different from the goods industry because when it comes to pricing with goods, is quite straightforward. It's basically cost of production plus the markup gives you selling price. But with service industry, cost of production isn't always as straightforward as it is with goods. Things that affect cost of production would be expertise of the service provider, location, economic factors, the brand you're working with. But where do we draw the line between knowing your worth as a service provider and providing the service at an affordable rate to your consumers and users? Before I let EJ speak, as a girl, beauty days are really expensive. By the time you get your hair done, your nails done, your lashes done, your toes done, before you know, your bill is approaching 100,000 naira. And I'm thinking, when I was doing pick and drop and watermelon, like 13 years, 5K, I don't run them. So, it just, and more, people keep complaining about, things are getting more expensive. And then on the service provider side, they talk about, their brand, your worth, how much effort and your, creative prowess or your brain that you put into it. But where do we draw that line between service providers, the service industry, and the consumer? So EJ, what do you think?
Oh, thank you very much. That's a very good question. So first and foremost, let's establish something here. Mm-hmm. When it comes to pricing, there's really no law around it. Sure. So it means that I put a price on my goods or my service based on the value I perceive that I'm going to provide. Right. Now, I think this is more of a business decision than just what the environment or customers are saying. Mm-hmm. So you have to, as a business owner, you're rendering a service. Yeah, you have to look at the environment. You have to look at your clientele, the industry you're in. And you have to put some factors together to determine how to make a decision as to what your pricing model should look like. Mm-hmm. To be more competitive and to be out there. You must make sure that you're balancing in such a way that you can still get your business running successfully and you can still scale your business. Because at every point in time, the three things you should be looking at around your business. Is it sustainable? Is it scalable? And can I still use this to drive impact?
Okay, cool. So you said sustainable and scalable. So let's talk about Lagos because we're in Lagos. More and more, it seems like the prices keep going up, but not so the value. The value is more of stagnance. We're not getting, most times, you're not getting anything specifically so different from or so out of the world from the other person. You're still having the regular Nigerian struggles, subpar customer service, but because you are in Lagos or you are in the island or in a particular part of Lagos, there's this automatic service charge attached to it. So what do we say about that?
So you should understand that everything should go up. Everything. So product is going up.
Okay.
Cost of product, like even product pricing is going up. Service definitely will go up because the person who's running the service to you still needs that money to continue their lives.
Yeah.
Right. And they're bringing that money home to like rise in rent. You know, rise in every other thing that they've spent money on. So it's just normal that even if value is not increasing, if price is going up, there's inflation generally. That's what I was saying.
Oh, definitely. The inflation part is always taken into account. But how do I put this in? So I've been on both ends because there was a time I used to write business plans, feasibility studies for people. And I used to do that during my NYC days.
Right.
And then I was charging maybe 5K per page. But now I don't do that as often because of work and time and all of that. But now, obviously, I wouldn't charge that because 2021 and now Nigeria is a totally different place. I've gotten my master's, I'm working, and my time is really important to me. So if I take my time out to do other things, it has to be worth it. But at the same time, when people approach me, even to like scan through or not actually do the technical thing or just give advice on what I'm saying, how do you then draw the line? Because let's say the person coming to you is a startup or a young entrepreneur. Because at the end of the day, your initial network is the people around you before you start growing your brand to further place, to bigger places. So the people coming are startups, young entrepreneurs. How then do you then, draw the line between, this is what I'm worth, this is what I'm giving, and being reasonable enough to the payer?
So first and foremost, you're not selling water. Even if you're selling water, you sell water in different form. You must be very clear about your target audience, whatever service you're offering. So it's your target audience. Are they happy paying for the amount of money that you're charging?
So I think
there's a challenge around the target audience. Most maybe the business owner is not clear about, so probably that's why you're having some issues with pricing, because if your pricing is not in par with your target audience, you always have those kind of issues.
So target audience. But generally, as a user or a consumer, do you feel like services are expensive?
Inflation is everywhere.
That's not the answer to the question. Do you feel like services are expensive? Inflation aside.
So the definition of expensive is in line with value received.
Yes.
Right. So you can receive the same service, but at a different value level with a different price. And in a way, it's relative to who is receiving it to be able to judge.
You guys, EJ is a politician. Yes, for the services you receive as a consumer, as a user.
So first and foremost,
in Lagos or in Nigeria.
So first and foremost, I'm smart with the person I'm myself in choice of my service provider.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm very sure of the kind of service I want to receive and who should be giving me that service.
So you're saying for now, when it comes to price to value, you're good.
So what I mean I'm good is that at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I'm only going to service provider that I'm happy to pay the amount of money I want to pay that I'm being charged.
Okay.
So I mean, now that there's inflation everywhere, people need to be more conscious about the service provider they're going to meet. And again, that's important for service providers. Whenever there's inflation, there is more opportunities for service providers to like sharpen up, like create more edge and more value, right, to attract people. So the market can get really divided, right, with this kind of opportunity.
Okay. So for now, EJ is okay with his service in like service to value.
Maybe through my choice.
Through your choice.
Yes.
I would say I have made a lot of changes when it comes to service providers, because sometimes I look at things and I'm like,
it's not worth it.
It's really not worth it for now. But there's some things that you can't really make changes because maybe there are not enough, providers in that space,
your environment,
and you're comfortable with some particular vendors, and it gets harder. But the truth is, the bills add up and you're like, okay, really and truly, what did I just spend on? Like the other day, I used 8,000 naira data in less than a week and I nearly lost my mind. I was like, what just happened? Because I literally recharged on a Thursday and by Wednesday I was getting, oh, you have 300 MB left. And I'm like, I know I press phone. I agree. I'm a presser of phone. But you cannot tell me that 8K for 16 gig
will disappear in just 5 days.
Disappeared in 5 days. Bro.
Yeah.
And I go to work. So how much time do I spend on my phone at work to say that I'm not just home pressing TikTok morning to night? But then again, when I hear about other service providers, they're either too expensive or the service is non-existent. Mm-hmm. I just manage the one I'm managing to further notice.
So I think, the government, like they've got different agencies that are responsible to ensure that there's some sort of customer protection and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
If you can be more vibrant, right? So that service providers know that there's a responsibility on them, right? Not to just get paid, but to actually give value for what they are actually being charging their customers for.
Okay, so before we go to the AI parts and the impact on the service industry, we're going to delve deep into that. How did you get into, the AI world? I know, yes, you studied to be an engineer. That was your background. Did you always want to be an engineer?
Not really.
What did you want to be?
That's a very good question, right? So I think what you want to be in life, in a way, it kind of maybe
evolves.
It kind of evolves.
It changes.
Right. So at a point, it was about, when I went to school then, I think there were just about 4 top careers. If you're not a lawyer, you're a doctor, you're an engineer. Mm-hmm. And the 4th one is any other thing, right? Mm-hmm. My apologies for those. Probably I didn't mention your career, but yeah. So we just chose that because we were able to do that mentally. Like we had that.
It was more.
But when I was 200 level in school, I knew I didn't have passion for it.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I know I didn't have passion for it.
So you just pulled through and got the degree and you're like...
Yeah, I did it very well.
Okay.
I did it very well.
So how did you then... I wouldn't say you didn't really totally migrate because engineering, analytical skills will definitely come in play when you're talking about AI and software development.
So when we talk about engineering, right, that gave me my framework, my background for critical thinking, analytical way of looking at things, right? So yeah, there was not a loss like doing engineering, but practicing engineering is what I never did.
Oh, okay.
So I never saw myself, as an engineer.
Oh, okay.
But I saw myself exporting the rudiments and the skills around engineering into what I'm doing today. So even when I make business decisions, they could be sometimes very mathematical. They could be, and it makes sense because mathematics works.
Yeah, true.
Right?
It does.
Yeah.
Even though I've not used Sokatwa in anything in life, but generally it does.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so now how long would you say you have been in the artificial intelligence space?
Maybe going to 6 years actively.
Actively.
Okay. Yeah, maybe 6 years actively.
What would you say about the AI market in Nigeria in comparison to the rest of the world?
So again, everywhere in the world it's still growing.
Yeah.
But of course, Nigeria is still playing catch up.
Yeah.
No doubt, right? But I think that unlike with other revolutions where Nigeria was slow in catching up, there's already a kind of precedents that have been set in terms of the tech industry in Nigeria, fintech, insurtech, and whatnot. Yeah. So I'm not seeing a situation whereby AI is going to take a longer time for the Nigeria,
the adapting
Nigeria market to catch up, to adapt to it.
True. I get that.
Right. But I think that one of the biggest challenges with AI right now, if we want to get to the usability of AI, is the cost.
True, it's expensive
to implement. There is a big need for infrastructural
development.
Yeah, development. And I think accepting some, I can't remember his name, Steve Maestra, I can't know if that's his name. There are really no people investing into infrastructure
for now.
Yeah, in Africa as much.
Yeah.
Right, because when they do that, it's going to help, because these things run on a lot of computing power, GPUs and all of that. So meaning that whatever we're using right here it still has to go somewhere and come back.
I heard China was trying to deploy 10G, was last week or something, and I'm like, I'm still struggling with LTE, and I don't even think 5G is that functional in Nigeria, but yeah, so we need investments in the infrastructure.
Yeah, infrastructure. Then another thing is policy. Yeah, so there have to be more of ethical and safe way of using AI.
Definitely.
That has to come in.
Definitely. Before we started recording, I was telling him how I believe regulatory bodies need to be set up around AI, the same way we have the GDPR of 2016. I think GDPR was 2016 for data protection, and HIPAA for the medical industry. Healthcare, that was in 1994, 1996,
about that.
Around that area. We need something AI, if it's GDAI or GAI, or a regulatory body that sets international standards that other countries can then follow and set up their own policies and internal control to, secure the use of AI. Because as much as AI is great, it can also be very much used for a lot of dreadful things, from, fraud of any form to propagating agendas, spreading of false information. What else do you think AI can be used for in bad?
Fraud and whatnot. But at the same time, I see that that's also more opportunities for startups. So we could look at how, creating, a product where people can detect AI, AI generated content and whatnot.
Truly.
So for me, the problem may seem overwhelming, but I strongly believe that there is, so the thing more is about who's passionate to pick on one of these problems and solve them.
Where there's a problem, there's a solution.
Yeah, a whole lot of solutions.
There are a whole lot of solutions. Yeah. So like we said, we'll be talking about how AI would affect the service industry. So I don't know if my viewers have been online or on Twitter, but remember there was the period of where, is it GB? There was this Korean or manga image generation, and people kept sending their photos, and AI would generate it in that GB. I think it was GB. I think that's
something
the name.
Like that. Yeah,
that's my
generated over 1 billion images back then. Right.
That's my current lock screen. I took a birthday picture and it came out cute. Then people started asking AI to model their clothes, like the clothes they made, put it on a model, and AI would generate a humanoid model, and it will look really good.
Yeah.
I even saw people ask AI, they'll send them it will send it a random video or an old image and say,
you can recreate it, make it better,
a
do
headshot
something
for LinkedIn,
prompt it for something,
and then it will bring it out. So that put the question in my head of, okay, if AI is doing this at this point, at a low level for like the bottom of the pyramid, how then would the service industry react? Because if I know I can ask AI from a video I take to get me a LinkedIn headshot that would attract customers or attract companies to my page, and generates that, why would I then go pay a photographer like 200K for 3 headshots?
Fantastic. I mean, so first and foremost, no matter how powerful AI becomes, AI is not going to make your hair for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, but what will AI do to an hairdresser? I can help you with that. So with AI, it can create maybe styles I've never been.
Sure.
So meaning how you sell your value becomes different. AI, if you own a restaurant, for example, AI will not cook for you.
Yes, but
what can you do?
New recipes.
Exactly.
But then again, so that's the thing. If you're a restaurant owner and you're generating new recipes with AI, me at home, I can also generate new recipes with AI. So what would then make me leave my house to come to you?
Before AI, you could cook the same banga soup and whatever before going there. Like, it doesn't change anything.
True that. But the thing is, let's say I tell AI, I'm actually going to ask ChatGPT to give me a reimagined banga soup recipe.
Exactly. Try it out.
And then I try it. Right. And I'm like, I sell it as Gen Z banga or something like that, just to spice up my TikTok.
Right.
And people are buying and it's mad. And then one person realizes that, this babe didn't do anything so serious. She really just asked ChatGPT to create the recipe. and then people start creating it at home. So it's different. So for me, I feel...
So you're thinking that the ingenuity will not be there, right?
Yes.
No, the AI doesn't work that way.
Okay.
So it's not like if I ask AI something, it gives the same output to everybody.
Okay, so it's different outputs.
Oh yeah, it depends on how you prompt it.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say that the AI is only as powerful as the person using it.
Okay.
So for example, think about an instrument, a musical instrument like a piano,
Mm-hmm.
right? Anybody can go walk up to a piano and click a key.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to make sound.
True.
Yeah, but an expert could come and combine those skills together and the melody is different.
Mm-hmm.
Even there are better experts, pianists or whatnot. Exactly, that same thing with AI.
So the prompting is key.
It's the future.
How you ask is key.
It's the future.
So
we're moving away from execution to supervision, to judging, to orchestrating, to editing.
Pastor, preach.
Right. So what it means here is that, like, I'm trying to do a project. Previously, I would have, because I run a tech company, probably I have like a UI UX person and all of those people, front end and all of that. I mean, there are no code agentic AI today.
Yeah.
That I just pull my prompt, and in less than 3 minutes, I have my entire dashboard ready for me.
Okay, so before we get into that, define agentic AI and non-agentic AI.
Right.
For my viewers and for me, really.
Right. So start by understanding that AI is an assistant.
If you say so.
Yeah, it's an assistant. So GPT is an assistant. It's helping you do something.
Yeah.
So don't look at AI like and something that can stand on its own.
True, definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
It has to collaborate. That's why I tell people like AI is not here to replace human activity, rather it's here to augment it. Right. And of course the normal plan or fear is that AI is replacing jobs and whatnot. From the World Economic Forum, 9 million jobs are going to be replaced by 2030, but 11 million will be added by AI.
So to the World Economic Forum and to you, I ask, the 11 million new jobs that will be created, it's one thing for jobs to be created. It's another thing for people to be able to fill those jobs in terms of, being able to afford the training or the learning to get in those job spaces, because obviously there's some jobs that will be technical and you will need some form of training. It's another thing for people to have the technological know-how or
like the place to learn.
The place to learn, or even the cost, because you were telling me like YouTube is free, you can just go on YouTube and ask everything. But I also just said that I spent 8K on data in less than a week and I almost ran mad. So to a minimum wage earner who earns 70K in Nigeria, and with the way data is going, you're spending like 10K per week. That's 40K in a month. How many people can afford 40,000 naira in a month on just data to be able to learn this great thing? As much as, yes, I see AI is a great improvement. I am really proud to be alive during this period. But I also feel like if not regulated sooner than later, and there's also the part of capitalism. You were saying 9 million jobs will be taken, 11 million jobs will be
and created. Again, that happened during the internet time as well.
Yeah. So if you just said non-agent AI, you're yet to define that, but we're going to go back to it. Non-agent AI can create your dashboard in 3 minutes, UI, UX.
No code, yeah.
And you're a business owner. So, and you said we're moving to supervisory roles. So instead of having like 20 people in a department, maybe with AI, you just need 3 or 4. And then a suitable AI, I don't know, what do you call them? AI
assistants. Agentic AI. Agents.
So for you as a business owner, that's less HMO, less salaries, less what's that, pension, less maternity leave of somebody going, or paternity leave. That's less human errors. That's instead of instead of paying for 4 floors, you might just need to pay for 1 floor. And obviously that's less cost, less overhead cost and all of that. So you personally might say, oh, you can still balance it, but the deep capitalists would pick, they'll rather squeeze the supervisory role to the minimum level and leave the AI assistants to do bulk of the work. So what do you then say to that in terms of the 9 million versus
fantastic.
11 million creation?
So let's start by going back to history.
Okay, let's go back to history.
I remember 1999 going to 2000, the Y2K. People were scared.
Today.
Oh, internet is going to take over the whole. Internet is going to take people's job. Oh, digitalization and all of that. But did that really happen? Rather, that created more opportunities for people, for young people, right? And more opportunities have been created. I can tell you for a fact that we have not even scratched the surface as to what value creation is going to look like in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So you understand that the human race is advancing.
Yeah.
Right. So if we think that it's still going to run with our still way of doing business or working, that might not work in the future.
True.
Right. So when you say business owners previously would run their entire team with 100 team, right? And now they might only just need 20. What's going to happen to the 80? They become more useful to something else.
To who?
To something else.
What if your whole life you've only known one thing?
Okay, then
because if I like 45, your job is taken from you.
So what's even interesting is that this kind of knowledge, it's not age bound.
Yes, on paper, but in practicality.
Okay, so fantastic. So think about it this way, right? Before now, right, if you're above 50 or 60, it might be difficult to learn software.
Yes.
Like coding.
Yeah.
Now, do you know, at least to some extent, you can do some no coding tasks by just writing with human language?
And before now, or rather, you spoke about internet and the age of the internet. If we went with how we thought the internet would affect us, a lot of banks wouldn't have branches anymore because you can do it on your phone.
Right.
But I can tell you for free that you will not believe the amount of people who are afraid.
Right.
Not just for like this, the fear of cyber criminals, but just generally the technological adaptation is not just there anymore, and they will still come into the bank to do over-the-counter transfers of 10K that you can literally do USSD transfer for on your phone. Do they have the phones to do that?
Right.
Yes. Do they have data to do that? Yes. They might even be holding the latest and biggest phones.
Those kind of people will always be. But over time, it's going to shrink.
Are you sure?
Of course. You can't be discussing this in 20 years from today. When more of the Gen Zs are now going to be like 30 or 40. Do you understand me? I mean, the baby boomers are actually going away.
Yeah, true.
Then the millennials are getting to 40, 50, right? The Gen Zs will be getting to 30, 40, right? So we are not going to be having a situation where people would walk into the banks. It's going to be over. And before digitalization, there were no fintechs.
Yeah.
And what happened? How many people are the fintechs employing today? Before, the fintechs are giving birth to POS, and that's business opportunity for people. You know, so we have to look at value through different lenses.
Yeah.
You know, there's not just one way to see how value is being distributed. You know, so that's the same thing. And I'm a believer that the human nature is advancing. So in this case, I'm not talking about things like I'm not saying humans want things to be more complicated, but I'm saying that the way we judge value is changing.
Definitely.
Yeah, and so this is a wake-up call to business owners as well.
Yeah.
The way we judge value is changing.
Yeah.
So if you're going to sit as a business owner, right, and say, look, there's the old way and I'm going to stick to it, you just wake up one day and there's nobody to serve. Yeah. Because customers now are smarter, right? They have a better way to get things cheaper.
Yeah.
Right. And they have a better way to get better experience.
Exactly. TikTok.
You can imagine, right? So previously, before digitalization, to start a business, what are you going to do? You need some kind of money. You need to set up a building somewhere and all of that. I mean, just with a TikTok, I'm live.
Yeah.
And I can start building.
True.
You know, so the digitalization has created more millionaires than you can imagine.
Definitely.
And when you talk about capitalism, right? Back then there were few people, few families that could be wealthy, that control the wealth. But today, anybody can be somebody. It has never been. Everybody can be somebody. It has never been this easy. Everybody will be somebody. It will never be.
Yeah.
We will never get there where everybody can be somebody.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing we could have more people to become somebody. Let's speak reality.
But the bottom of
even
the
when
pyramid,
you go to school, not everybody graduates the first class. So
true, but the bottom of the pyramid is still very much populated.
And that's the interesting thing about artificial intelligence.
The middle and the top.
No, but look, that's something very interesting about artificial intelligence. I read a report, I think from Fortune. Mm-hmm. So if you look at a triangle, and we put it into 3 quarters. Yeah. The bottom, the middle and the top. Yeah. To realize that the people at the middle, when they start using AI as a core assistant, it increased their productivity by about 23%. Okay. Meaning that, look at copywriting, like I don't like writing. Yeah. But now with AI, I write better, probably better than the Nobel laureate people. Why when you come to, I mean, I can prompt up to that level. Trust me, like this is very powerful. You just cannot think about it, right? Now, when you come to the middle, they notice that AI has just only contributed maybe 11%. Yeah. And when it comes to the top, where you have the top 1% of the 1%, AI has done maybe just about 3% to them. Okay. Right? So what it means is that AI is it's giving more opportunity. Benefiting the bottom. Like, to the greater number. Well, definitely. So people think that AI is benefiting just the people at the top. No, there are more opportunities for the people at the low side of the pyramid to go to the middle side of the pyramid. I see what you're saying, but as a Nigerian and as a human being, I feel like a lot of things are better when said on paper or reports. Or let's establish something. Let's establish with the internet. Yeah. You're not permitted to stay as a Nigerian. You should be a global citizen. Definitely. Look, there's really no excuse as to where you are, because we have seen situations, we've seen stories of people, and it's still going to happen. Yes. We can sit here and give ourselves a list of excuses why we're not going to tap into a global economy. And we would always have good reasons why we are where we are. I get what you're saying, and I get globalization and all of that. But the fact is, we are sitting here, we're talking, right? But the truth of the matter is the payment scheme. Let's talk about TikTok. Anybody can create a TikTok account and become a creator. But the same TikTok account with the same amount of followers, same amount of interactions in Nigeria earns significantly less than the person who is earning in the US. So why are you creating... The question is that why are you creating content that are only interesting to Nigerians? It's not about interesting to Nigerians. You have a global market, but because your location, these platforms there are ways around these things. Or let's not talk about this. There are ways... Look, you guys... You have to make... I'm going to share his numbers. No, honestly, there are ways around this. Look, nobody's... Look, everybody has got equal opportunities to become unequal right now. Smartly, I can tell you. I think the ground has been more leveled. You're not breaking any law. And you can... everybody's got equal opportunities to become unequal without breaking any law. I can tell you for free. The ground has been more leveled than the past, but I don't think we are equal now. I think there's a better leveling. I'm not saying everybody's equal. I'm saying everybody has gotten equal opportunity to become unequal. Okay, so... Unequal. Insert that image of people on equal podiums and then people on different podiums and different heights. Have you seen that picture? Yeah. So it comes back to how hungry are you? True. Yeah. True. How hungry are you? True. And how more foolish do you want to remain? So what do I mean? Like Steve Jobs would say, stay hungry, stay foolish. So foolish is that don't stop learning. You should keep learn. And this is to young people, by the way. Come on. It's interesting to just flip reels and all of that, right? But I mean, right now you have access to possibilities that your parents, your grandparents would never have or never had. So I mean, you could you could start learning on something, and you have to be smart as to what you want to learn. So you need to see what I'm investing my energy, in the next 5 years, how much of relevance will it be? True. And how much of impact will it bring to me directly and the people around me? True. So it starts with your choice. You just see everybody doing a certain trade, or everybody's trying to do this or do that. But look, at the end of the day, have you sat down to think, how far can this go? And what's the impact? Exactly. I spoke about impact as being the greatest return on investment in the previous episode. Yes. That it's not just shares, it's not just money. But before we round up, we spoke about Agentic AI. So I just want you to
briefly break down the types of AI, and then we will then talk about briefly how we see AI affecting the service industry in 5 to 10 years.
So the different schools have different ways to categorize what AI, what the AI types could be. But let me just put it into two groups, right? We have the vertical agents and we have the horizontal agents. So every AI tool you're using right now is an agent. Okay. Just take it that way. It's an assistant.
ChatGPT is your assistant.
ChatGPT is an agent, right? Now, the vertical agents, vertical agentic AIs, they are designed for a particular use case. Okay. So, some are for designed for maybe healthcare, or designed for maybe for research, or for image generation, and what, like Midjourney, for example. So I might not be getting the same value using Midjourney. I can't research with Midjourney. I only get images and videos and whatnot. So those are horizontal agents, right? Sorry, those are vertical agents. While horizontal agents are agents that you can export for different use cases.
Okay, so for specific uses.
No, horizontal you can use. It can be used for diverse use. Okay. It can be used for diverse cases.
So is there an example, or is it like a growing space?
Yeah, it's still growing. It's still growing. I think at that point we get to AGI, which is artificial general intelligence.
Artificial general.
Yes.
Intelligence.
Yes, where an agent will be capable of doing multiple things
at the same time.
No, not at the same time. It's intelligence. So humans have general intelligence, meaning I can read, I can write, I can draw, I can take this camera and do right. But an AI cannot do everything. Cannot start thinking. Yeah, it's been trained
for one purpose
or for two purposes. That is why it's vertical. Okay. When it's horizontal, it's been trained for multiple.
I get that.
Yeah, that's artificial general intelligence. So we're going.
So just off topic, do you ever think we'll have the robots will rise and take us? This is just for comical purposes, right. But do you ever think the robots will rise and attack the human race?
So
like we see in movies.
So what's AI? Let's start by saying that. So we're moving away from softwares that did not have intelligence to software now that have intelligence. Before now, if you tell the software when you see this red light, like stop. When you see, you stop, all of that. But with intelligence, it can tell you, well, I would like to stop, but based on data, okay, right? Or based, it has a way it can.
So, do you watch movies?
Yeah, it can probably infer on the outcome.
Are you a Marvel fan?
I'm not really movie kind of guy.
Okay, I wanted to ask you whether Jarvis from Iron Man was. Oh, you don't. Yeah. Okay, all right. So let's talk about how AI is going to affect the service industry in 5 years. So for me, I see that there are going to be 3 major things. 1, services will evolve. 2, some services will disappear.
Become obsolete.
3, there'll be major restructuring of pricing in services. And it might not be so good for the service provider or the service user. It depends on how things play out, especially with other factors like personal factors, political, economic, social, technical, environmental, and legal. Those are personal factors. So, especially when it comes to Nigeria, because Nigeria is always my use case, because that's where I am currently.
Right.
So, in 5 years, so in 2030, I think some services would no longer be needed because AI will get it done for me. I think there will be new jobs or new services created, niche new services, not just general, but niche services. But I also feel like a lot of services would switch. So some services that we're seeing for the bougie and the opulent and top class will become more generic because it becomes like, okay, it's no longer restricted.
Maybe they go mainstream.
Yes, so they will just go mainstream and feed the population, while some that were feeding the population would now be strictly for bottom of the pyramid. But that's what I think. But what do you think?
So let's go from the known to the unknown. Okay. So let's not try to predict the future.
Okay.
So we don't sound like the man who saw tomorrow. So let's go from the known. Let's go back to history. Right. So a couple of years from today, a couple of years ago, somebody in some small place selling food only have access to maybe 20, 40 homes around them. But today with the internet, it can put that on all of these food delivery apps and start getting customers. So that automatically has had an impact on her business. So previously, she might be struggling to do maybe 20,000 naira worth of sale, like in revenue per day, right? But today, she probably could get it up to 50,000 because she has a wider market to serve. That's what AI is going to do to whatever business you're doing. So rather looking at it, okay, AI will just come in and just wipe all your business or wipe your career away. No, come and start thinking, like get involved, start reading, attend conferences, watch podcasts like this.
Money making fun.
Right, exactly. Like get to see what's happening.
Yeah.
And now use the same GPT and say, hey, look, well, my name is Oro, I do XYZ. How can AI be of benefit to me?
To me, yeah, true.
Right. Okay, would like to be relevant in the next 5 years. Like tell me what would make me, and I'm going to teach you guys a very simple way to get more value from ChatGPT. So you don't have to necessarily know how to put the right prompt to get the right output. So what you can do is, for example, if I want to get the AI to tell me what my current business or my career, if it's going to be useful, and I don't know how to put the prompt for it to come away, just write something and say, okay, hey, AI, or whatever, hey, I want you to help me predict what the future of my current career is going to be like, right? And what do I need to learn and whatnot. Then after that, tell them that do this task above, right? Create a prompt that can bring the best outcome for this task above.
So I can ask AI to create a prompt
right?
That would prompt it to get me better responses.
It's gonna, when you do that, you push the button. It's not gonna create a prompt for you. Just copy that prompt and put it back and push. You will get an excellent outcome. Simple. It's a simple cheat.
So you can prompt AI.
Yeah, you prompt AI to create a prompt
for
optimal
prompting.
That will give you the best. That you get the best out of it.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's why I said with prompt you can do amazing things, right? So you have something in your head, just write it. It doesn't matter if the spelling is right. Forget about, look, it's not an English class.
It's not
semantics. At the end of it, you just say, please give me a prompt, right? Or generate a prompt, right? That can do the above tasks, right? And give me the best outcome. Boom. It will give you the prompt. Pick that prompt verbatim. You can read it. Boom. Put back and push and see what happens. And you just keep doing that, and you can get amazing outcome.
So I'm going to try that after this, and then I'll let you guys know how it went.
Honestly, AI is gonna help your life.
Oh, definitely.
And guess what? For free.
Is it for free?
Yeah, it's for free.
But it expires my date. Sometimes
GPT now is free.
Your something word
you don't need no. They've made it like there's Perplexity for Claude, right? Not just Gemini. There's a number of them, right? Okay, so let's just name them, right, guys? So we have GPT, ChatGPT. We have Perplexity. We have Gemini, right? So I mean, those are the most that people use. Yeah, so just download it. It's free, right?
Yeah.
And over time, you get more comfortable with the output.
But when I mean, like, it's sometimes it says, oh, you have exceeded your word, something. It will reset by 2 something a.m.
Yeah, GPT used to have that, but they've stopped it.
Okay.
So they allow it to do that.
So you're saying that you don't think there's going to be like a premium or a monthly fee?
Oh, there is.
Yeah, I know there is.
Like there's a GPT Plus, there's a GPT Pro and whatnot. But you don't even need to be at that level starting. Start with, look, what I've realized is that wherever you are in starting everything, start with the free ones first. It's enough to build value. Then you know, okay, this is worth me paying $10 or $5 more for. That's it. So there's a lot of free content out there. So you want to upgrade yourself, start with free content on YouTube, on ChatGPT. You can go to ChatGPT and say, check for YouTube, channels where I can learn about AI that regards to, like, even if you want to change career, if you want to switch, or you want to go deeper in something, and it could help you a lot. But please, a disclaimer, right?
Yeah.
AI is not always right. So out of 10 output, sometimes maybe 9 is right, 8 to 9 is right. One. So when we say it's not always right, it's not like, so the output sometimes it hallucinates, right? So So listening, meaning that maybe it doesn't really have full context to it, so it might bring in.
So it
it might
be
just
direct,
pick information. It's look, AI is a work in progress. So yeah, that's why AI is a co-assistant.
Yeah.
So it's not hook, line, and sinker. It's not. It's not. You don't just take everything and swallow it. Like, it helps you in your reasoning. It helps you with your tasks and whatnot. Honestly, anybody who's yet to start using AI, I would tell you guys, just go download it and start using it for your activities. You realize that it will become one of your phone apps over time.
I have ChatGPT, but like, I definitely not top 3 on my apps for now.
Right.
For now. But thank you guys so much.
But again, let me say something on that. Right. So in this age of AI, right, you should start with AI and not end with AI.
What do you mean start with AI?
Right. So if you want to do something, like to save time, just start, first of all, give the task to AI and now build on that task.
Doesn't that breed laziness? No, like,
at the end of the day, output, it's not the function of the quality of outputs. It's not a function of the number of time or the work done in some cases, right? Remember, it's still work done, right? So you don't just want to feel I'm working hard. No,
I'm for work smart, not work hard. I don't buy into suffer-head lifestyle,
right?
But I am saying, like, even from a student perspective, a work perspective, I feel like sometimes AI makes people lazy.
No, it even makes it faster and easier for you. Let me say something to you. It's just like you say now that I'm not going to use Google. I want to research something, I'll go to the library. Come on.
No.
Wake up.
That's not.
No, that's about the same thing.
It's okay. So, for instance, let's say I am to make a speech at the end of, a panel discussion, just a closing speech.
Right.
It doesn't take that much for you to write a closing speech.
No. It does take a lot. What I could do, it does take a lot. What I could do is get more context of what it is, throw it in my GPT or whatnot.
That's why. So at least you jotted things down before you threw it.
Because I don't want to get a bit more complex on that. I don't have to really jot. I could just use an AI note.
There's the voice
and take all of those things, get my raw data, throw it, it processes it for me. I start prompting it. Like, look, at the end of the day, things have to be done faster, things have to be done cheaper, and things have to be done simpler. So if you're not looking at these 3 things as you grow in life, you might wake up one day and realize that you're in a world that you only existed. And that's reality.
If I'm in a world that only existed, it would be a nice world. But thank you guys for sticking with us. Thank you so much, EJ.
Thank you, Ro,
for coming on Money Maketh Man. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Till the next time you see my face, do have a good day. Bye.